Uncle Ray, you can put that in the system.
That's my special effect.
William Harper.
Judge, we're ready.
Okay.
Just for the court's information, Judge, we do not have an agreement. We're open to the court.
All right. Court is calling 2020 CR 2192, State of Texas versus William Eric Anthony Harper. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Allie Jackson for the state.
Defense.
Judge Richard Garcia for the defense.
And are you Mr. Harper?
Yes, ma'am.
I'm sorry, could I have a stamp on that? Oh, that's all right, thank you. All right, Mr. Harper, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Enter Adjudication of Guilt and Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Are you the same William Eric Anthony Harper who was placed on deferred adjudication?
He's like, yes, ma'am. I don't think I've ever, and look, I didn't grow up a bad guy. Like, I didn't grow up in the game. I did grow up in Los Angeles, and, Tupac even said a long time ago, and I wasn't a Tupac fan when Tupac was alive, but I became one later in life. He's like, man, if you're from LA or from New York, you just automatically have a little bit of gangster in you. And my siblings have told me that. Like, even though like I was a square, worked for Microsoft and in the computer field, that I always like kind of had one foot in and one foot out, even though I had never committed a crime until I was almost 30. And that was just drugs, supplying a habit. And then, but everyone just like always like, no, well, we always just, thought that you would go to jail someday. I'm like, how does that even make sense? Like, I'm a systems engineer. Why would you think that? But anyways, it's crazy.
In 2020 CR 2192 for the offense of theft from a person on October 5th, 2020 for a term of 2 years. Is that you?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, state.
Yes, Your Honor, we're proceeding on violation of condition number 2 that on or about the 27th day of August 2021 in Bexar County, Texas, the defendant, William Eric Anthony Harper, did then and there fail to submit to drug testing as directed by the court officer or supervision officer and or a duly authorized agent of the court in violation of condition number 2.
How do you plead to that? True or not true?
It's true.
Your Honor, at this time, we're going to waive the remaining, all the violations of condition number 2.
All right, any objections?
No objections, Your Honor.
Did you understand by pleading true to violation of condition number 2, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to $10,000 fine?
Yes, ma'am.
Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 2? I'm sorry?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find violation of condition number 2 true. Is there any proposed agreements?
No.
There's no agreement, Your Honor.
All right, state, what are you requesting?
The state is requesting revocation, Your Honor, and that he be sentenced to 18 months in a state jail facility.
All right, defense, what are you requesting?
Judge, being that the case expired a year ago,
He's like,
Mr. Harper has asked me to ask you to terminate his probation unsatisfactorily. He did complete the intensive outpatient program. He completed all the community service hours. He currently attends DeVry University, where he's got 3 months left for his, I believe it's his engineering degree. During the time of this probation, he had a daughter, and he was busy working to support his daughter. He has had a job up to about a month ago with Tesla, and he says that he even brought Elon Musk to San Antonio. So,
The judge, look at the judge. He's like, yeah, sure you did. Sure you did. I mean, that's what, maybe he did, maybe he had a hand in it, but he's probably an intern from DeVry at Tesla. I'm sure he didn't, email Elon. Is like, man, how come you ain't coming down here? Yeah, but I get it. He was probably on the team that brought Elon to San Antonio. but I mean, it's Elon's factory, so Elon probably brought himself to San Antonio. I'm guessing. I'm guessing. I don't know. What do I know? I don't know.
For those reasons, we're asking that you terminate him on sat. Mr. Harper would also like to address the court on his behalf.
Can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is William Harper.
All right, you're gonna need to keep your voice up so that the court reporter can hear.
So, Mr. Harper, tell Judge Boyd why you are asking her to terminate your probation unsatisfactorily.
I'm asking for you to terminate my probation because of I've worked so hard these past 3 years to just become a better person. I've went to school. I have 3 months to complete my bachelor's in software development. I've held a 3.8 GPA. So if I knew, if I could talk to, when I committed the crime that I did, if I could talk to that person, I would tell him, if I was able to tell him that, 30% of the world's billionaires are engineers, I never would have made that mistake.
Well, no. Here's the thing. You're not making mistakes. You're making choices.
Here's
So,
the thing
what I
too.
wanted-
so you can hear my comment. I've been there standing in front of a judge with my notes like that, and you have the best speech laid out. I'm looking at my microphone and not the camera. You have the best speech laid out. You have your paper. You try to memorize it before you go in there. That way it doesn't look like you're reading off a paper, but the judges don't mind because they know you're nervous. And you have you've got words that you've never ever used before in it, and you've looked them up, make sure you use them in the right context. You're having your family send you a dictionary and it doesn't matter unless you're familiar with that judge and you have a rapport with that judge and you're comfortable, which I did. I had a federal judge that I was pretty comfortable with because I had 3 violations with that judge. By the last violation, when they finally didn't send me back, they gave me a chance and sent me to treatment, and I've been clean and sober ever since, and life is great. That you just are nervous and you stutter and you don't say half the shit that you wanted to say. You have so much stuff you want to say succinctly, and you want to be articulate, and no, I don't stutter. I just couldn't get that word out. And you think it's just going to be the most articulate, succinct thing that you've ever said, and it just comes out jibber jabber. You don't even remember what you said when you get back to holding or wherever the hell you go back to, and you're just like, I just messed that all up. I just totally screwed that up. And I'm saying you're in front of the mirror the night before practicing it, and it just never fails. And you can tell he's fumbling with it. And I could tell he had something good to say. If I could go back in time and tell that 17-year-old kid who was out gang banging and robbing people, hey, you can be an engineer someday, I would have listened to that guy. But that it didn't quite
is why you choose to violate condition number 2. And this is not your first motion to revoke. You were here back in August for a violation. So I can tell you right now, I'm not inclined to terminate you on SAT. So you need to explain to the court why you are not completing what I'm asking for you to complete while you're on probation. Because if you're not completing, you can do great things. You could say, oh, I'm on probation, and not report, not do anything, and just go live your life, not reporting, getting another job, providing for your family. You can do all of that, but you still have not done what's been asked of you by the court.
I didn't know how serious, I didn't know how, my actions, I didn't know that it could lead to this.
No, yes, you did. And let me just tell you how I know you did, because you were here before on a violation of condition number 14. And I told you specifically what I just told you now. Do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 14? Do you understand by pleading true to violation condition number 14, I can find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, sentence you up to 2 years in the state jail facility? So this is the second time you're hearing this. And the other thing that I know And I want you to internalize what I'm saying before you continue with your testimony. I tell everybody who comes through here, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? I tell everybody that comes through here, if there's an issue with probation and you feel like probation isn't addressing it, let the court know and we'll address it. So do not start with, I didn't know about this, because I know you know, because I told you. All right?
Just wasn't like developed. Like I wasn't the same. I wasn't the person that I am now. I'm an actual adult now. I understand now. I didn't understand then because I was a kid. In my mind, I was a kid, but now I'm a completely different person. The things that I did then, I wouldn't even think about doing now. I would go to probation. I would go and I would do all that, not just because that I did it and this is what's happening. It's just now I realized that that's what I need to do, and I would be able to get that done now. Or I just didn't know any better. In my mind, I didn't know.
And since we're just now doing this
You're right,
motion for
you're
vote,
right.
that tells me nobody knew where you were.
And Your Honor, as
Oh,
far as
wait,
that's
I just did my
concerned, I
speech.
do have Mr. Harper's mother who would like to testify on his behalf as well.
Okay. Just 1 second before she calls up. Do you have any questions?
Oh, I'm sorry.
I just have one, because, the big thing here is you stopped reporting, you stopped coming for your UAs. If you were tested today, would you be positive for anything?
No, man.
All right.
Here's a moms come to Jesus.
Okay, Ms. Ebony, you're going to speak.
This ain't who we be.
So.
All right. Can you raise your right hand?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give?
Oh, she
Raise
looks
your right
nervous
hand.
too, like she's on.
All right. That's okay. Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth? So help you God?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
All right. You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
My name is Ebony Eldridge.
All right. Make sure you speak up.
I always
before it
feel
has
for
to
the
hear.
parents. I never
My
had
name
my
is Ebony
parents
Eldridge.
convention.
All right.
So Miss Eldridge, you are William Harper's mother,
Yes, sir.
and you understand that we are here for what's called a motion to revoke probation. The probation department is asking that Mr. Harper, your son's probation, be revoked. You understand that?
Yes, sir.
And you also understand that his probation expired over a year ago.
I found that out today, sir.
Yes. And what is it that you would like to tell the judge about William so that she can make her determination as to what she's going to do, whether she's going to terminate him unsatisfactorily or sentence him? Can you address Ms.
Before we let her go on her rant, it's weird that his sentence expired and they're still revoking him. That must be a Texas thing. Where I come from, I'm from Los Angeles, and that's my hometown right behind me. I live in Montana now, and in both states, like if you abscond and you disappear on probation and you make it, like beyond like the time that you're on probation, you made it. And that might be different in California now. But I know in Montana it's not, because if you get a suspended sentence and then so that's your probation time and you disappear for the 5 years you got suspended off your sentence, then you made it. Most people don't, so but a lot of people try, and most people don't though. But if you do, you do. And so that's kind of a trip that they're a state that doesn't do that. It makes sense to not do that because you didn't do your time. That'd be like having 10 years in prison and then escaping, and you're gone for 20 years. You still are going to have to do that remainder of the time, and probably more because you'll have a new escape charge. But anyway, I just thought that was interesting.
Judge Boyd?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Thank you for giving me this opportunity, and thank you as well. I would like to say to the court, I'm a mother first, but I'm also a well-abiding citizen, first of all. my son has made some choices because you can say mistakes when they're toddlers because they're learning. As being a late bloomer is what I like to call him, he's still learning. My son, I moved him here to San Antonio. I made the mistake of moving my son here to San Antonio, and I fought myself for that. Because before I moved my son here to San Antonio, my son was headed to the military. My son was in ROTC. My son was scholar in football, headed to college, went to Wayland, came back to San Antonio because of me.
God's plan, though. God's plan.
I made the mistake in telling my son not to go into the military. And to this day, he still wants to go to the military. And I made that mistake because I was scared. The only reason that I responded the way I responded to you today, sir, is because I'm scared for my son to go to prison. My brother was murdered in prison. So it sits different with me when we talk about prison because my brother was murdered there. My son has made the mistakes that he has made. And I tell you right now that I'm not okay with the things that he has done. I'm not okay with the people that he chose to navigate and put himself with. I'm not okay with that. I'm not even saying dismiss it. I say start it over, make him complete it. Because in my house, we don't finish like that. We don't do it like that. We don't conduct ourselves like that. Because we're not those type of people, and that's not how you was raised. We was raised to do what we were supposed to do. We was raised to finish it out and to walk with our head up because that's the way and that's how God wants us to be. You made the choice. You tied my hands. You tied my hands.
She gets a
As
little
your
bit
mother,
dramatic
but
here.
I'm
though.
here
Although
begging you, ma'am, to have
this is the second time I've watched this, and I didn't feel emotional the first time, but I feel a little more emotionally connected to it this time. But she does go a little over the top here.
mercy on my child like Jesus had mercy on us at the cross. I know he's messed up and I know he's not the perfect kid. I know he's done some things, but I even say it to you, ma'am, if you're the probation person, I'll make sure he's there. I'll make sure he does what he has to do. I get that he's an adult and I experienced that firsthand being told, I can't talk to you, ma'am, because that's an adult. I experienced it firsthand when I found out that my son had messed up on probation and I'm calling the probation office. I'm saying, hey, I'm his mama. I'm on y'all side. What can I do to help you guys to make sure that he's doing what he's got to do? And they told me, there's nothing you can do because he's a grown man and we ain't got to talk to you. I hang up and I call back and I say, hey, listen to me, please. Before we even start the conversation, let me pray with you. Because we need God to lead the conversation. Because I need you to understand I'm not against you. But I want my child to do right. And if it means I got to stand there with him, then I'm willing to do that. Because I don't want my son, I won't throw him away. He's a smart boy. He has things going for him. Do we need a little help? Yes, ma'am, he does. Am I asking the court to help my son? Yes, ma'am, I am. Am I going to do what he won't do? Yes, ma'am, I am. He needs help. He needs it. He wants to help. He wants it. And I tell you, if you give him a chance, you're gonna do right. Or I'll go upside your head myself. Because you're gonna do right.
You're gonna learn today. What was that stand-up thing? Someone gonna find out today. He's gonna learn today. Somebody.
Have to do right. This right here is not it. My brother died in prison. And it pains me. It pains me. I'm tired, baby. You got a 2-year-old daughter. I can't even bring your daughter to see you. I won't bring my granddaughter to sit in a jail to have to see her father. You got a home. And that's where you're supposed to be, helping me raise your daughter. That's where you're supposed to be. We're home. But we're here. We're here. We're here. But I won't leave you. I won't leave you. I won't leave you. I just can't leave them,
All right.
but I'll stay.
All right. Any more questions?
Good for you. Good for you.
Defense?
No, Your Honor.
State?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So, you know, she's talked about her brother getting killed in prison, and you know, a lot of people from these states like Montana and Nebraska, and I have subscribers all over the country, a few outside of the country. You know, in their prisons are like, oh man, they're soft. You know, these dudes, they go there, they got Xboxes and they got, you know, TVs and stereos. A lot of that's changing. A lot of prisons are taking that stuff out. But in the federal system, I'm just going to tell this quick story. So of just about, you know, people getting killed in prison, and it's sad, and you just never know. And it's not necessarily a riot or, you know, a gang fight. It can be just something simple like, so we were all on lockdown. And they weren't Puerto Rican. I think they were Haitian. Not that those are similar, but I can't remember. But it was one of the groups that was there. I was in a federal prison down in Pollock, Louisiana, in the swamp for real. And this place already just felt real negative, and it had a real evil feeling to it. It was always dark, and there was always people always trying to kill each other. And well, anyway, these two dudes got tied up and killed, and they were left on their bunk. Anyway, we were locked down for that. So while we were locked down for about 2 months because the FBI had to come in and do an investigation, and just because of the way that they were found, you know, bound and gagged and tied, and they were killed over a store that's over stamps and them running a store, and that's a whole nother senseless story, something that happened. But anyway, so while we're on lockdown, you know, we're on 24-hour lockdown. They bring our food to our cell. This kid gets off the bus. You know, he's new to the prison, and they stick him in a cell, and we were getting shit food, so we decided to do a food strike. You know, we weren't going to accept the sack lunches. Well, anyway, the kid doesn't know, so when his hatch gets open, they throw a sack lunch in. You know, he smashes it, and you know, the white boys, because you stick to your race in there, and the white boys would say, hey, don't take no more food, man. You weren't supposed to take that sack lunch. So anyway, we come off lockdown, and this guy, what was his name? Conan. I think his nickname was Conan. Yeah, it was Conan. He was from Oregon. Well, anyway, we come out and we're walking down the stairs, and Conan's talking to the kid. Well, the kid like smarts off to the dude, you know, and says, you know, hey man, I didn't effing know, you know, just, you know, leave me alone. I didn't know. I didn't take another one. And Conan's like, don't get smart with me, and punches the dude because the kid shouldn't have done that. You know, he's new. You got to let this fool. This Conan was huge, hence his name, right? Conan. And anyway, Conan just like left hooks him, and the kid falls back and hits his head on the back of a concrete staircase step, and kid dies. Conan was getting out in 9 months. Conan just did 15 years, and the kid dies. And so imagine what that kid's parents are thinking, like, whoa, what the heck? You know, he just, I can't remember how much time he got, but it wasn't a lot of time. I think it was like 3 years or something like that. And not a lot of time compared to like most of the guys that were at that place. And it was a high security. It's called a USP. And, you know, the kid probably didn't think he was going to die in prison. And Conan probably didn't think he was going to kill that kid, or, you know, it was just a fluke, an accident. And dude died. So now that kid's parents probably tells a story. Yeah, my kid got killed in prison, you know, but when you hear that, you probably think, you know, people are going to think, oh man, it's got to be crazy there. You know, they do probably, you know, it was in a riot with, you know, with the Bloods or the, you know, whatever, the gangster disciples, you know, he was white, the blacks probably killed him. You know, you just don't know. And, but no, it was over a sack lunch. And it was a mistake. And you know, I haven't thought about that kid in a long time. I'm going to say a little prayer for that kid's family tonight. But, it just really sucks that happened. But when she said that, that reminded me of that story. I mean, there was lots of murders while I was in, but that one was definitely a senseless one that didn't need to happen. So.
All right. All right, it's a shame you brought your mom down for here because of your actions. Probation, what are you requesting?
Your Honor, due to the case being further extended, expired revocation or term set.
Well, I can tell you all, I'm not going to terminate Unsep because he hasn't done anything. So there are two choices. And this is the court will do. Well, before I say that, has he done anything on probation?
And
He completed
what does that even mean?
IOP, the intensive outpatient
Unsat.
program.
Well, I mean, I know what it means,
He did the
unsatisfactory,
community
but
service.
sorry, I'm not going to keep. I'm going to let this play. I'm sorry to keep getting in the way. So yeah, so you keep messing up so much that like, oh, screw it, we're just going to kick you off. I mean, everyone would do that to get kicked off. Oh wait, but his had expired, so I guess that's different. And so they're just going to say yeah, unsatisfactory. Okay, never mind.
Hours.
I answered my own question.
And he's paid 500 and something.
Your Honor, Mr. Harper did complete intensive outpatient treatment. He completed 41 hours of his community service hours. The court waived 40 hours due to his COVID vaccine.
Mhm.
He paid $563 toward his assessed fees of $2,841. He was on the drug patch for the beginning of his probation, and they were coming out negative at first, and then there was a lapse there.
All right. Any final argument from either side?
No, Your Honor.
No, Your Honor.
So,
Oh, one thing, Your Honor, he
Yes.
does have two new cases which are gonna be not taken care of at this time. They're still pending indictment.
what are the two new cases?
There's a misdemeanor interference with an emergency telephone call and a felony assault family choking. I'm sorry. A misdemeanor interference with telephone call and an assault family choking.
All right, so what's the status as far as those? Are those good cases, not good cases?
Isn't that crazy?
They're
That's a
they're only
crime.
about a month old. I do know that the victim is uncooperative on them, and that's about all I know so far, Your
Not
Honor.
the choking, but the telephone
All
call.
right, so who's the complainant in that case?
His ex-girlfriend, I don't know her name off the top of my
Isn't it crazy? Like if you're on the phone and I like slap the phone out of your hand or take the phone away from you, that's a misdemeanor. That's a crime. You can go to jail for that. I mean, I get it, the slapping part, but what if I just grab your phone, not that I've ever done that. That seemed pretty aggressive, but it's just weird to me that that's a crime.
What's her name?
Anquinetus Harbin.
I'm sorry, what?
Anquinetus Harbin.
How do you spell the first name?
That's ANQUIN
Slow it down. A-N.
QUINEETIS
And the last name?
HARVEIN.
All right. State you're asking for 18 months. Defense, you're asking that the probation be terminated unset. I'm not going to terminate him unset. These are his choices. 1, I can find him guilty, revoke him. I'll sentence him under 1244 to 1 year at the Bexar County Jail. Or 2, I can find him guilty and I will place him on regular probation.
That's a blessing.
Please do regular probation. regular probation, please.
Okay. All right.
He's so funny, dude. Just, I mean, that dude was out robbing people. He just choked out his girl. And now he's like, I'll do probation, please. It's just beyond me. It's beyond me.
Right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is finding violation of condition number 2 true. The court is going to find you guilty. What I'm going to do, state, is there a recommendation? Oh, this is a state jail felony. I'm going to sentence you to 2 years in the state jail facility, suspended and probated for 5 years. I'm going to want 300 hours of community service restitution. I'm going to want parenting classes. Once he's completed the parenting classes, 150 hours will be deemed satisfied. And then you are to get your degree or either some sort of trade certificate. And once that is done, the remaining of the community service will be deemed satisfied. There's going to be regular reporting by Zoom or in person. There'll be random regular UAs. There's to be no contact with Anquinetus. Is it Anquinetus? Anquinetus Carbon. Proof of employment within 30 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Probation, does he need another TAP?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're going to do a TAP evaluation, and that's going to take place while you're in custody. And if TAP recommends inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment. If they recommend outpatient treatment, we're still going to start with intensive outpatient treatment. I'm going to want 90 sober meetings in 90 days. Field visits, 1 time per month for 3 months. And then thereafter, as probation deems necessary after the 3rd month. And I'm going to want an anger management class. Probation, is there anything else?
No, Your Honor, and I apologize. Will you give me the term again?
2 years, suspended and probated for 5 years.
And Judge, if I may, the only issue that or concern that I have is that he's got the felony and the misdemeanor, and he hasn't made bond on those. And I'm not sure if they are able to make bond, and because they're family violence, he's not eligible for PR bonds, and so he may be incarcerated
All right.
for a while.
Okay. All right, you'll have to take care of that with whomever your attorney is on that. Are you the attorney on those cases as well?
I believe so, Judge.
All right, so you'll have to take care of that with your attorney. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
Just the drug classes, the anger management classes.
Mhm.
Any classes I can get. I just want to be a better person. And this is a
I
turning
believe
point in
him.
my life. I want to do better. So
I believe him.
Okay. All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court
believe
Certification
you
of
were scared
Defendant's
straight.
Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it?
yes, sir.
All right, this is not a plea bargaining case. You do have a limited right to appeal. That right to appeal is as it relates to the allegations in the motion, not the fact that you were on deferred adjudication. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right, is there anything else from either side? We're going to go off the record.
No, Your Honor.
I'm going to say this again, and I've said it to you before, and I say it to everybody. If there's an issue with probation and you feel like they're not addressing it, you can always come to the court to ask. You understand?
Yes, sir. Man, what do you mean by that? Like, come to the court? What do you mean?
Oh, your attorney will explain it to you. People have just walked in and said, hey, I'm having an issue with probation,
Okay.
and we'll address it. But
I
do not come back to me for failure to report and not doing what you're supposed to do. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
And the way you were over there crying with your mom, stop breaking your mom's heart.
I know. I'm so sorry.
All right, good luck to you.
Okay, this is for you.
I believe him. I believe that kid's gonna do good. I really do. sometimes you just know. I mean, he's been scared straight. I don't know what happened. He's probably getting punked out a little bit by the gang members, and they're just letting him know like this is what it is. You know what I mean? I'm totally guessing that, but yeah, I believe he's gonna do good, and I mean, for entertainment purposes, I hope he messes up. You know what I mean? So we can see him, because she ain't playing right now. She's gonna, like, if he comes back for like a not reporting, but I promise that fool's gonna report. He's probably gonna be there an hour early, stay an hour later, you know, set 10 alarms. That fool ain't missing a probation. I can just tell. I can just tell. But okay, we got another one too. I think it's combined with this video.
Alex Espinoza.
I probably will post this video.
Just
on
one
the
second.
phone.
Who's on Alex Espinoza? Court is calling 2018 CR 10108B, State of Texas versus Malik Ballou. Can I have parties announced for the record?
Melissa Christian for the defense.
Let's make this one a little bit.
You're doing like triple and double duties, Mr.
There
Gerhan.
we go.
And are you Mr. Ballou? How do you
this
pronounce
fool
your
right
last
here,
name?
Boyer.
Boyer?
Boyer. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I
I
didn't
don't
get
think it's
the
a
L.
mental health. I don't think it's a mental health thing with this dude. I think this fool's just scared. He's scared to be in that courtroom. He's scared to be in jail. Because when he does talk, he does. If I'm remembering correctly, if this is the right case. When he does talk, he's got a little bit of snap to him. So I think this fool is super scared, and it's just another case of this dude robbing people. And it's just an interesting thing to watch.
IEU,
For me, it
Boyer.
is.
Okay, we're
I don't know
gonna
about you guys. Maybe I'm
I am.
wasting my time even
But you know what? However people pronounce their names, I'm going to go with it. So Malik Boyer.
Yes, ma'am.
Have both parties had a chance to review the PSI report?
No, I haven't. But the state is willing to proceed, Judge.
All right. According to the plea bargaining agreement, punishment is to be assessed at 10 years in the prison. The state is opposing his application, and they're taking in consideration 2018 CR 10109A, and there's restitution to Chase Bank and Circle K under 2018 CR 10109A. All right. Are there any witnesses from the state?
Not from the state.
All right. Thank you.
I wanted there to be an accurate number.
Oh, yeah. I don't believe Circle K has 27,000.
Yeah, I don't
Okay.
think so. I just wanted to let the court know.
Thank you.
that a
Judge,
lady?
we would call
Yeah, it is.
Talisa Holmes.
Talisa Holmes. All right. And Mr. Boyer, if you'll step back the way. All right. Could you raise your right hand for me, please? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Talisa Holmes.
All right.
You can spell your name, Miss Holmes, and what your full name.
Mm-hmm.
Telisa, last name HOLMES. And could you tell the court what your relationship
Holmes.
is to Mr. Boyer? I'm his mother.
Hey, Holmes.
And Ms. Holmes, what do you do for a living?
I am military retired, Army retired, and so now I work a daiquiri shop.
And you're aware of what Malik is charged with. And you are aware of the decision that the court is facing today, which is whether to send him to prison or to put him on some kind of a probationary term. Okay. And what would you like to tell the court as to why Malik should receive probation instead of?
Now, this mother's thing is a little different than the last mother's. You'll see. Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
going to prison?
Sorry.
Okay, take your time.
Counsel.
Yes, thank you, Judge.
You're welcome.
You know, as a parent, your kids are your life. You do your best, you know, to make right decisions for them so that they can make correct decisions in their life. Not saying that they'll always make the correct decision, but I think that what the charges are, I think that was an impulse thing for him. He was in the wrong crowd. He was young, he's still young. And I don't want his whole life to be in incarceration. He'll never get to understand how to adult in life, the responsibilities of being an adult and being somebody that can add to society if he's in incarceration so early in life. He's not gotten in any trouble again. And I just, I haven't been able to be in contact.
And Ms. Holmes, let me ask you, would he be living with you if he were granted probation?
He's even living with me.
Right. And are you available and willing to support
Prosecutor
him
destroys her.
in whatever conditions that the court may assess
Spoiler
to
alert.
his probation?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and then that would include him getting to a probation officer and reporting, getting some outpatient mental health treatment, anything like that. Are you willing to help him get where he needs to go and do what he needs to do?
Anything that the judge deems as would be helpful for him to stay out of walls where he can't. Yes.
And do you feel like you have sufficient control over him in a situation where, in other words, he would abide by your house rules and do what he needs to do?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Is there anything else that you wanted to let the court know?
Do you
Just,
though?
I can only plead as a parent for behalf of my child for the court to do what's in his best interest. And that would be for him to be with his family. It'll help his morale. It'll help our morale. And, he's got a young one also. He's got a baby that he hasn't met. So, things like that help to redirect any negative behaviors from an individual. You can't say the same thing if we were to be apart for longer.
And at the time of this offense, when it occurred, he was 17, is that correct? And he's 21 now. And so he's gotten married and had a child in that time. Yes, ma'am. We'll pass it, Mr. Judge.
State.
May I, Your Honor?
Yes.
Thank you.
He destroys
ma'am,
her.
Was your son living with you during this time of this?
I knew he was going to
back in
ask that
2018?
before he asked it.
That specific time frame, no, sir.
He wasn't,
No, sir.
and he was only 17 years old. Why was he not living with you?
Because just like any child, he wanted to live independently.
Okay, so independently, he went out and committed the robbery. Is that correct?
I think that, no.
And then when and are you aware that he went to Bell County, was arrested there for 3 different charges in 2022?
I have not been in contact, so no, I was not aware.
So you haven't been in contact with your son in
Mhm.
2022?
3 years.
How many?
She blows
Years,
it.
3, 4 years.
And he's
So
a
if he
dick. So.
Is given either deferred or probation, is he gonna live with you?
He's gonna live with me, yes, sir.
But you haven't been in contact with him for how many years?
3 years.
Okay, thank you. No further questions.
We have nothing further.
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
When you say that you haven't had contact with him for 3 years, is that you all have not talked on the phone? There have been no letters written. You haven't seen him for 3 years?
So I've been writing while he's been incarcerated here. I haven't gotten anything back.
But I mean, has he been incarcerated for 3 years?
I mean, Sheriff,
No, there has been a lack.
All right, so I'm trying to figure out, why have you not had any contact with him?
I don't think that, so I was going through my own military, issues and things, and I don't think that my son wanted me to be more involved in what he had to go through.
No, I'm not talking about the jail incidents. I'm not talking about him being charged with this.
She
I'm
avoids
just
it.
talking in general. So is there a reason you haven't had any contact with him?
No, I just,
All right, just a moment. So the line that's here, there's an
There's
inmate
something
right there.
underlying
So
there.
I'm
She doesn't
sorry,
wanna
but you all are
say.
going to have to wait
I mean, yeah,
because
she's
it makes it easier for the
in
deputy.
trouble, but
Yes.
I can't say for, 100% why, but we just haven't been in contact because I also had my own pending felony type of thing going on at the time.
All right, what pending felony type of thing?
So I had a hindering apprehension a long time ago, like 2019.
I'm sorry, had what?
2019, hindering apprehension.
Apprehension? Okay. And where's his father?
Never was in the picture.
So she was
Okay, all
hiding
right, thank
somebody
you.
out.
Any other questions?
No.
That's why she asked, "Where's his father?"
State any other questions?
Exactly.
No, nothing.
All right, thank you so much for coming in.
Hindering.
You're welcome. All right, counsel, if you want to let me know what she would say.
So I guess the reason why I say that they destroyed her, that there's no proof that she would be any help to him. And in all actuality, they probably feel like it's not a stable place for him to be. It wasn't stable a couple of years ago. It's probably not stable now. Kudos for her to be there for her son. That's badass. My mom wouldn't have done that. And I'm friends with my mom. And, so I just, yeah, good for her. But I feel like she should have lied a little bit, or just, lied. I mean, not that lying's ever the right thing to do. Good or bad, telling the truth is always the right thing to do, and lying's wrong. But I don't think she would have had a problem with lying about it, and she should have.
Hey, if there's no
Yes.
objection
So,
from the.
Yeah, so Antoinette is the younger sister of Mr. Boyer. And she actually cut short her vacation plans in California to come back and be supportive of her brother. She's also living in a home. He is a high school graduate. She's working. She would have testified that she would be supporting him along with mom, making sure he makes all his appointments and does whatever he needs to do. Giving him the family support and assistance he needs, not only.
Sounds like the sister's the only
in
one
his
who's got her
probation
shit together.
obligations, but with his new baby as well.
All right, thank you. All right, if you all will wait till we finish the hearing to approach, that would be greatly appreciated. All right, any other witnesses?
Roll call, Mr. Boyer.
All right, can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. You're gonna need to speak up so the court reporter can hear. State
He's
your name for the record.
scared, man. That fool is scared.
And you need to keep it that loud, Malik, okay? So Malik, you understand that the judge is facing a decision as to whether to put you on probation or send you to prison. You understand that, right?
Correct.
Okay, and
My cat.
tell the court, if you would please, why you believe you deserve to be on probation.
Not that it's any excuse at all, but at the time of the crime, I was a 17-year-old knucklehead and drug addict. These past few years, I've grown to fix my bad habits, and I also haven't caught any new outstanding charges. I also don't have any prior outstanding criminal history. I just really need a second chance at life. I just had my first child, who will be 9 months this month, and I want an opportunity to be there for him and my fiance. So if you can find it in your heart to grant me probation, I can promise you 100% that you won't see me again.
Now, this guy, I don't believe so much. I mean, I believe he believes that right now, but I just think his external stuff, there's a lot going on. Even if his mom's got her life together now, and she probably does, but I just feel like they're just not close enough. There's not a connection there. You know what I mean? He was 17 out running the streets. That's still in him to do. He hasn't grown. That other fool, he's in college. He was in ROTC before he became a bad guy. That's the difference, is that, oh boy, in the first case, he knows what it's like to live clean and good and have integrity. He's done it, so he knows how to do it. This poor kid probably has never had that in his life, and probably has no examples of that being in his life. So his chances of succeeding, when he tells her, I promise you, judge, you just let me out, I'm going to do good. But on the other hand, this is his first time. He has no prior criminal history. I feel like he should get at least one chance. We all should. Okay, you messed up. It's a felony, but we're going to give you, not deferred or adjudicated, which is like a deferred sentence. Some states call it adjudicated, some deferred, where, okay, if you complete probation, this will come off your record. It's your one and only chance to do that. I can't believe that he doesn't get that chance. So there's got to be something in his past, or there's some mitigating factors in this crime itself that they just don't talk about because it's just a summary of the offense.
I just need an opportunity to prove myself.
And Malik, you had some mental health issues, correct?
As well.
Okay. And when you and I were going over the PSI, I told you that the probation department, that if you were granted probation, they were recommending some outpatient treatment, correct? Are you telling this court that you'll be willing to completely commit yourself to whatever recommendations through the probation
Hell yeah.
department or whatever conditions that the judge wants to assess? You're willing to do whatever it takes to complete this probation successfully. Okay, and can you tell the court why you haven't been in contact with your mom? Because the court was asking that question.
I didn't want to bring my mother into more of being in the way, especially if there was any possibility of her getting any criminal charges brought up against her to mess up further what I had already
There's a
did
look.
between going on.
I almost want to
my
rewind
little
that.
sister and things like that.
I am going to rewind it.
And the court, why you haven't been in contact with your mom? Because
Watch
court
the
was
judge.
asking that question.
I didn't want to bring my mother into more of being in the way, especially if there was any possibility of her getting any criminal charges brought up against her to mess up further what I had already damaged.
All right, maybe I
going on with my little sister and
didn't see anything.
things like that.
And Malik, are you willing to abide by your mom's rules of the house? So whenever she says you have to be home, you have to be home?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, are you willing to go and get a job?
Of course.
What kind of job do you think you could get?
I already have 2 jobs lined up. Actually, one is a lawn service and another is a forklift driver through the Christian Ministries.
And how did you get those job opportunities?
I went to a prayer call and I was handed a slip, and another one is from one that I already had previously.
And have you received any medication or medical assistance while you've been incarcerated?
No, I haven't.
Okay, so you're not taking any medications, right? Okay. Do you feel you need any medications?
I've been prescribed and things like that, but I was self-medicating and things like that. So.
And so if the court
Oh,
grants
yeah,
you
that-
probation and you're given this opportunity and the MIC unit supervises you and they get you assessed and they say that you need to be on medication, are you going to take it like you're supposed to?
Of course.
Okay, are you going to self-medicate on the side or anything like that?
No.
Are those days behind you? Okay. Don't pass the witness.
This prosecutor, man, I get it that they got a job to do. He's just shitty about it. And look, I've said before, I'm not a cop hater. I'm not a justice hater. I think criminals should be in jail. 1000%. But, and I even have a series that I started last week on All Rise Legal Network, called For the Prosecution, where I'm going to show like over the top prosecutors who just are a little extra and, or just have a certain way about them, like Jay Regier out of Kansas. That fool, but he's cool, man. You know what I mean? He's just a super nerd, law nerd like us. If he wasn't a prosecutor, I promise you he'd be watching this stuff. But this guy, I've seen him a lot, and he just likes to I feel like it's they're exaggerations of what it really is, a lot of the time, but he just wants to get it on the record. But I feel like he makes it more than what it really is, with
Thank you, Your Honor.
every time he's questions like this.
Sir, you stated that, one, you were out on bond for this case, is that correct?
Right.
And then during that time, you went to Bell County and picked up 3 additional charges?
3 misdemeanors, you said.
Right, an evading,
3 misdemeanors.
yeah, an evading arrest, detention, right?
Correct.
And then also a failure ID,
Correct.
and then also possession of marijuana, right? Okay. And you've been incarcerated since that time to this time.
Yes, sir.
And the co-defendant in this case, is that a friend of yours?
My acquaintance.
Acquaintance.
All right. Everyone, please whisper. And if you could please speak up.
Speaking of the mic.
And this
He
Sorry,
didn't get
he
it.
said it was acquaintance.
individual is just an acquaintance of yours, meaning that you've only met him a few times and you just hung out with him.
Correct.
So you decided to go in to the Circle K and commit a robbery with him?
No, and actually, that whole day was, I only remember certain parts because I would black out occasionally.
Blackout, but you're blacking out because you're on Xanax, right?
Correct.
And you're also drinking and smoking, right?
Correct.
Okay. I mean, that,
Could I say something? Sorry to keep interrupting this. And if you guys want, I can rewind it. Not that you can tell me, but Xanax and drinking, that is the real thing about blacking out on that is the real deal. When I was I don't know, I was like 23 or 24. I took a couple Xanax to fly to Detroit to see my dad, and had a couple drinks on the plane with the Xanax, and I don't remember anything. And when I got off the plane, there was like you know how you walk up the tarmac, and then my dad was way down at the end of the tunnel of the chute, and there was all these cops around him. And I was like, look at, and this is before I'd never had a crime. I wasn't a drug addict. None of that had happened yet. And I was looking down at him, and all those cops were there. And I just like laughed to myself. I was like, man, I hope these guys aren't here for me. Just like joking to myself. And they were like, are you Sam Yarbrough? And I was just like, whoa, what the hell? And my dad was like, oh my God. And they like pulled me over and like questioned me and like threatened to take me to jail. And my dad was like, he's like, I know. My dad never says dude, but he's like, son, I know when I was standing there with them, I had a feeling, I bet you these guys are here for my son. That goes back to show you that like, I've always kind of like had that way of, even before I'd ever even thought of like doing a crime or anything like that, that people always felt like that it was a possibility. And that's kind of bizarre. I'm gonna have to like think about that some more, but anyway, blacking out is a real thing. And so what had happened on the plane is that I had blacked out and the stewardess had cut me off. I guess this is what the cops told me, that, and I had tried to steal the little airplane bottles of alcohol off the cart. And I guess I got real oppositional with them. And so they had called ahead police to question me to make sure I had someone there to drive me, and that I wasn't, just gonna go off or whatever. But anyway, sorry about that.
that's what you stated in this PSI.
Yes, sir. But I just wanted to also be known that I haven't done any of those drugs since I've been incarcerated the first time for those charges.
But you just got picked up in Bell County of 2022 in March for possession of marijuana. Is that right?
Correct.
And evading arrest and also failure to ID.
Correct.
So you just told the judge, since you got these charges, the initial robbery, you didn't smoke weed.
See what I'm saying? He said he didn't do those drugs, and he's trying to say you're lying to the court right now. And no, he's not. He just said not those drugs, and most people don't consider weed a drug or illegal. I think it is illegal in Texas, but that's what I mean. This dude's a punk, man.
Weed or anything like that?
No, sir.
You didn't have it in your possession.
I said I haven't been able to. The drugs that make you black out, weed doesn't make you black out. But I was smoking because I have anxiety, PTSD, bipolar depression. So I was self-medicating. That's what I said when I was self-medicating instead of taking prescription because I'm prescribed.
Have you been to a doctor
Yes, sir.
and diagnosed with all this?
Yes.
When's the last time you went to a doctor?
I'm not sure.
Okay, thank you. No further questions, John.
I just want you to know that, like I said, you will never see me again if you grant me probation because I've changed, I've developed, and I definitely have a child that I don't want to follow the same footsteps as me. I didn't have my father. It's not an excuse at all, but I don't want him to lean towards seeking out other attention from other people because there's not enough love, or if you feel that there's not enough love for you at the house, to accept that. I promise you I changed, Your Honor. That's all I
Right, see,
have to say.
these are
I like what he said
epiphanies
there.
that people should have when they're in the free world. I guarantee you, I could be wrong, I don't think I am. I guarantee you that your attorney doesn't have criminal charges pending. And everybody else, the people at Chase, the people at Circle K, they're just trying to do their job. I don't know anybody who, well, there may be some people who 100% want to work the night shift at Circle K or something. Usually they don't. In my lifetime, I've had to work the graveyard shift. And the graveyard shift is one of the worst shifts unless you get your body prepared for it, because no matter how much sleep you get in the day, when 2 a.m. hits, your body is saying, why are we up working? We should be asleep. So the people who are working at Circle K, maybe they love that job, or maybe they're saying, you know what? I need money. I got bills to pay. This is the job that's available for me. I'm going to do it. Everybody in this world, even in this courtroom, everybody's doing their job. Maybe they expect that they should be retired. I thought I was going to be retired at 21. Here I am, 22 years old and still not retired, right? Okay, why is that?
Let the record
She's up there
reflect.
cracking
Yeah,
jokes.
laugh
It's
out
like,
loud.
he feels like, okay,
But
it's gonna go good.
It's-
No, nobody.
people are just trying to do their job. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to find him guilty. I'm going to sentence him to 5 years in the prison. I'll retain jurisdiction, give him credit for any time served,
Look at his
taking
face.
consideration 2018 CR 10109A. There's to be restitution to Chase Bank.
Hold on, look at his face, man. He's like, wait, we were all just laughing 2 seconds ago. You made a joke. We all laughed. It's so funny, dude. To me, it is. And she just like, oh yeah, I just, made a joke like I'm 22. Oh yeah, 5 years in prison. And he thinks he's getting probation. Sorry, Charlie.
Of $2,701. I didn't have in the PSI report a restitution for Circle K.
That's correct, Your Honor. I believe
He
it's
did say under her jurisdiction,
bank.
and I just tried to
It's the
Google
only
that, what
covers
that
that.
means,
Okay.
and I can't find anything.
And you are severally liable with Ramon, Raymone Salinas. I'll ask for the therapeutic community, whether or not you are available for it. I can't force them to place you in it, but if you request it, they may place you in it. If you don't request it, they will not replace you in it. Do you understand? Showing you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Wait, I'm going to prison?
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. Here's the thing. Your attorney will explain what I meant when I said I will retain jurisdiction. The other thing, you are young. Sometimes people think things happen and it's the end of their life, the end of the world. It is not. You still can pick yourself up and do better. Everything that you told me, I listened to. Everything that your mom said and the proffer from your attorney that your sister said, I listened to. And I think every attorney will tell you that I do take in consideration some of the life choices that you may not be in control of when I sentence people. Because sometimes you get the parents you get. Your parents come with issues. Like right now, your child has a parent who's going to come with him with issues. And no children are allowed, at least I don't know of any children who are allowed to look down and say, well, I want these two parents. You just get the parents you get. But regardless of what happens in your life, at some point, you're responsible for your own actions. It's nobody's fault but your own. When people come to me and they say they're running with the wrong crowd, if that other person were in front of me, they'd say they're running with the wrong crowd, and I'll ask who it is and they'll say it's you. So don't be a part of wrong crowds. You understand? All right, good luck to you. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Dumbfounded.
All right, so as an interpreter,
So and she doubled down, or not doubled down, but like said it again, like, and your attorney will explain what under my jurisdiction I will retain jurisdiction. So I tried to Google it during the stream because I heard it earlier, and I can't find anything on it. So what I'm guessing it means is that he will go to prison, and because she has jurisdiction, it's like instead of it's like in some states they have a state prison sentence or a Department of Corrections sentence. So if it's her jurisdiction, he doesn't necessarily have to go to the joint. He can go to like a program. She did recommend the therapeutic community, and I'm guessing that's just some lame thing that they have in Texas that everyone probably talks shit about. Probably says, you know, he'll get there and he'll be like, yeah, judge sentenced me to therapeutic community. And they're like, yeah, good luck. You know, the waiting list is 10 years long. If you don't have 20 years or more, you ain't going to get in. So I'm guessing that's like one of those like stupid programs. But what I'm saying is they might have like these other like lightweight third party private programs that can hold prison inmates, not just jail inmates, convicts, not inmates. And they can do their time there. And if they complete certain things, they can get out like on some type of like quarter time or half time, or, you know, some kind of parole, not probation. So I'm guessing that is really all it could be, other than it's not a suspended sentence. Obviously because he's going somewhere, because she made the recommendations for what happens when he gets there, and then she did her little speech. So we'll just I'm gonna keep Googling it, and I have a couple friends down in Texas, down in Odessa, and I'm gonna hit one of them up this week and ask them what that means. They might know.
Put her here for Jerson Rodriguez. All right, if you can come forward.
I think that's it on this one. Yeah, it is. So okay, well, cool. I want to I'm gonna play a little body cam. I've never done this before. I want to react to some body cam, or not react, just laugh with it. Biggin, too, you know, the bald dude has the white beard. He plays these on Sundays, and he played one that's really good. I'm not going to play that because he already played it, but I went to that site and I found one where this dude's impersonating a cop, and I love those. Those are like my favorite. Ooh, I should do a whole video on that. Yes. Instead of like soft sit, because everyone does soft sits. I think I'm going to do guys who impersonate police officers and get busted, like that Jeremy dude down in Florida who like escorts funerals, but he thinks he's a cop and like pulls people over, and he's a hot mess. If you guys haven't seen him, stay tuned. I'm gonna be creating some stuff with that guy in the next couple days. That gives me something to do, something to create, other than the regular dockets. And I know of another kid who impersonated a sheriff in Tennessee. All that stuff was on the East Coast. We don't do that here on the West Coast. We don't impersonate cops. They love doing it out east, man. Just guys who want to be cops, you know. Yeah. We all know that guy, you know, that guy. Not to the extent where they actually do it, but you know, we all have that friend or a friend of a friend, you know, who wants to be a cop or is a cop. I have lots of police friends now, from being a tattoo artist, but and just, you know, from being in the game and then out of the game and back in the game. But yeah, so I'm gonna try this and see how this goes. We'll just give it a go. I don't know how I'm gonna start it though, because my screen is I'm gonna get this down someday. Okay, there we go. But now I gotta get back to my thing. You guys see anything? I don't see anything. Can you guys see anything? Put a 1 in the chat if you can. Wait, I'm not live. He won't get any of that. Wait, so what did that say? What did that say? Just over a month later, the charge was dismissed as the primary officer didn't sign the citation. However, the NMSSP reviewed the evidence and have since refiled the charge against Portillo. Portillo, you are such a baby. Don't lie to me. Admit it. Yeah, they want to stick it to him. Yeah, they sure do. All right, let me get back to this. All right. Well, it's been real. It's been fun. It's been real fun. I appreciate you guys watching tonight. Whoever stayed for the whole thing. I enjoyed that. I'm gonna find some more. I don't know how the reacting to body cam or footage from other things. I don't know the YouTube exact rules on that. I guess if we add to it, I guess the reaction is we can do that because a lot of people do it. So I guess I really don't have to look into it that much. But if you guys want to see me react to body cam footage or any kind of reaction video that has to do with the justice system or the legal system, please comment below and please smash that like button. That really helps the channel and it helps the algorithm for me. And I just really appreciate everybody watching, and I appreciate all the support I've been getting. I'm up to how many subscribers now? Where am I at? I'm up to I'm up to 1,800. Oh, I just broke 1,800 tonight. So I've gotten like 800 subscribers in 2 weeks. That's pretty dope. I mean, there's channels out there that get way more than that than I do, but I'm just pretty stoked with how the channel's working out, and I just have so much fun doing it. It takes a lot of time and a lot of energy to put these videos together. Not energy, physical, like digging a swimming pool energy, but it's a mental thing, and you do it for hours and hours, and the editing and but I love doing it and I love sharing these videos, so I'm going to keep on doing it, and I'm going to think of new things to do. I do have my little animated mini me do some videos, and I if you guys like that, please comment in the section, say, hey, yeah, those are pretty cool. I do get those videos have more views than any of my other videos, so I'm going to keep doing those more and more. I just did a video where I had Judge Boyd like introduce the channel. I do have a recording of Judge Simpson saying you've found what you're looking for, the All Rise Legal Network. It's not of his real voice, but it's something that I've had AI generated by taking his voice and inserting it into the generator. So it's kind of fun, but it's kind of corny too. But man, thanks for coming out. I really appreciate it. I had fun tonight, and man, I want to stay on and play some more stuff. But it's been 2 hours or an hour and 44 minutes, and I just man, just thanks for coming out, guys. All right, peace.